Hi, in this video I'm going to take you through how to do compositing in GEOVIA Surpac 6.6.2 and as well do your string classification. For those of you who haven't seen a tutorial outline we've been following, this is it. The tutorial outline has been divided into video set A to set E, and what you are seeing that has been highlighted yellow has been done and sent to my YouTube channel. And these are the data import in GEOVIA. We have done some in Determine Stereo RM. We have done some in Leapfrog. We are actually yet to do some in Snowden Supervisor. For video set B, we have done explicit modeling in GEOVIA 6.6.2 and Determine Stereo RM. We have also done implicit modeling in Leapfrog, where I did the shear wireframe that I've done for the normal deposits, where you have your loads you want to use for estimation. Videos have also been compiled in that regard. That is part 1 and part 2 of those videos. Part 2 is the final. So if you have seen the part 1, look for the part 2. Part 2 is the final one. In video set C, is going to be compositing in Determine Stereo RM, compositing in GEOVIA 6.6.2. In video set D, we're going to go through the variogram concepts in the softwares, Determine Snowden Supervisor, and then Surpac 6.6.2. For video set E, it's going to be the various methods that we are going to apply in our mineral resource estimation. One is the inverse distance weight in the IDW. We have the ordinary Kriging method. We have the single indicator Kriging, that's the IK. We have the multiple indicator Kriging, that's the MIK. All these are going to be done in Surpac GEOVIA 6.6.2. We're also going to do grade estimation the quick way, that is using ordinary Kriging parameters to estimate, and then we have the advanced way of doing it too, and that is going to also be in Determine Stereo RM. We finally have to do our model reporting, validation and reporting, and both in GEOVIA Surpac 6.6.2 and then Determine Stereo RM. Then we'll also do some in Snowden Supervisor. For today, what we're going to do is we want to do compositing in GEOVIA Surpac 6.6.2. In fact, compositing in Determine Stereo RM has been done. That one has been completed and is available on my YouTube channel. So today we're going to focus on compositing in GEOVIA Surpac 6.6.2. Yeah. So for those of you who have been following my videos, these are the lows we have been looking at over the past week, and let me display the drill holes. I want to display based on my axis only. Select gold here. I want to label only the axis. If you still don't know how to display data, please check my data import, how to import data in GEOVIA Surpac 6.6.2. I want to display the point markers. Then I'll apply. I don't want to query any constraint. Maybe certain specific drill holes that I need. I just need the whole drill holes. Maybe you have your QA keys that you want to filter out from your database. You can also use a constraint. But this data, no, we don't have. So these are the loads that we came out with. In fact, these have been exported from Leapfrog. I think the Surpac one was done. We also have two loads. Let me hide the loads that are brought in Leapfrog. Hide this, hide that. And this is, this is explicit modeling. So you have all these kinks. So there are some people, when they are actually wireframing, they want everything to be uniform. When you do that, you're adding a lot of waste in it. So where the samples are where I'm going to put my string. So the fact that this place has a king, meaning that there's grid in there. The fact that this place is short, meaning that there's grid in there, the grid hasn't extended down. So if I should pull it like this, it means I'm adding all this waste into it. Likewise, same here. If I should pull this just to make them uniform, it looks beautiful anyway when you do that, but hey, you are adding a lot of waste into your load or your ore body, which wouldn't be fine. You end up diluting the ore body, which wouldn't be fine, with waste, which wouldn't be fine. So going further, what I'm going to use, I have brought this just to tell you that the softwares, they are interactive. Anything you want to export, from one software to another, it is allowed. You can export loads from your implicit models from Leapfrog into Surpac, just as I have done. If you think you don't know how to import them, just give me a hi, just something short. I will help you out in another video. But this is how to import your load from Leapfrog into Surpac. Same way you can export your loads from Surpac into Leapfrog if you want it. You can also send it to data mine if you want it. Yes, so the softwares, they have created rooms for whatever you want to do. So let's go into today's agenda. I want to do compositing. In data mine, the compositing that I did, you realize that we first of all had to perform a basic statistics to have an idea about the dominant sample length and the minimum sample length, so that we can use that in our compositing. And that was known to be 1 being the dominant sample length, and then 0.001 being the minimum sample length. So over here, what we need to do is just start straight to compositing. So to start with the compositing, let me first of all bring some menus that I like using, and they are here. Okay, I go to toolbars, and I go to classic slicing. These ones that I need. So that is what I will use. I will use them later. So to composite, go to database and go to composite downhole. In data mine it was comp dh, that is composite downhole. You can composite by bench, so we want composite downhole. So with this, but first of all, make sure that you have set your working directory. Let's see whether yes, we have set our working directory, so it's highlighted black. So go back to database, composite down. Now you give it a name, comp underscore dh. Yeah, comp underscore dh, composite down. Now this is an ID that we will added to this, that is comp 0 is going to be composite dh0, and this string 1, the string that is coming out, the string 1. If you don't want string 1, you can put string 2. If you don't want string 2, you can put any string at all you want, you can put but let's leave it as string 1. The composite length I told you is 1 meter, so we're going to leave it as fixed length. So here it's a minimum percentage of samples to be included is 75% of this. That's the minimum percentage of samples to be included, 75% of this. For this database, I want 50%. So 50 divided by 100 multiplied by this, that is minimum percentage of sample to be included in this. We have no selection and multiple selection. If you have a database that you have QAQCs, you want to filter them out, you have to use your multiple selections and be able to filter out the QAQCs. But in this database, we don't have QAQCs, so let it remain as no selections. Leave here, don't dilute negative sample. If you take on this and you have negative sample, they'll be diluted. I mean, you dilute the negative samples. You don't use it to dilute. We don't need that. So I'll take it. Leave here as assay. The table name is assay, and then the field name is going to be gold. Yeah. So you click apply. You want to define constraint. What maybe you have set of data you want to composite from. We don't have any special data you want to composite from, or different data type we want to select and composite from. So I just apply. So these are the basic statistics. You don't need them. Just giving you total number of samples, the minimum and the maximum, and the standard deviations, the variance, and those of stuffs. We don't need them for now. If coming for do top capping, that is where we have to pay attention to certain statistics like the mean, pay attention to the coefficient of variation, that's the CV. You pay attention to some variance, standard deviations, some of the things you want to pay attention to, but this one we don't need. So this is the resultant. This is the string that we have composited. That's the composite file. Let me hide the lows. You're able to see them clearly. So this is a composite string that we need. If you open it, right click on it, then you edit, you see our composite length be 1111 meter. 1111 meter. So we composited 1111 meter. So that is the composite string. Let's display this and do our strings classification. Let me come to define section. This one, I want to use a graphically selected method in the my drill hole. import in Surpac. I have explained some certain things, and I'm not going to explain it here. You can go and have a look at that, and then go through. You will understand better for time's sake. Graphically select selection. Then I'm going to give the distance forward. I'm going to give 20. Distance backwards, I'm going to give it 20. Distance. I'm going to give it 40. The step distance. Over here, usually depends on the drill hole spacing. That is, if you want to section your drill holes in order to be able to produce a solid, depends on the drill hole spacing. So this could be, if this is a drill hole spacing, this could be half the drill hole spacing. So I'll apply. Then you say click and drag to define cutting plane. Then I just define here as a starting one. Now we want to display the gold. If you look at the composite, it is the axis that we have. We want to display the axis. In Surpac, Surpac posts the axis in the descriptive field 1, that is the D1. So we want to display the axis values on the drill holes. We have them on the rod drill holes. We want to display what is in the composite one. So, and they are here. These are the axes that are here. They are here. These are the axes. These are the axes here. Where the cursor is. So we want to display them. So come to this display. If you come to this display, you go to high spring. Then you apply. Make sure your composite string is selected. Then you apply. Then you go there and display point markers. So this is point markers. Then you apply. So that is the compositing intervals. 1 meters. Dividing the drill hole into 1 meter through to the end of the hole. So go back to display and select point description values. Then you apply. So these are the drill holes, the axes in the descriptive field that you have displayed. If you look at this is 51.093, and that is actually the highest, the maximum grade in the database. And look at this, 51.09. This is 14.76, and this is what 14.76. This is I think is 6.08. If I zoom in, 6.08, and that is it. 0, and that is it here. So that is that, and this is 0.314, and this is 0.31. This one is actually into 2 decimal places. So this is what we call compositing. So if I take off this, these are my values. I have, these are my composite strings, and these are my composite strings. So let's do the string classification. Let's do the string classification. I'm going to go back there and then redefine my section. And I've defined a cutting plane. Okay, so I'm going to classify the strings into all widths. I can have width, I can have low grade, I can have medium grade, I can have high grade or super high. So to do the classification, go to file tools. In file tools, you go to classify string by numbers. Classify strings by numbers. Click on that, and this is the form, the classification metric numeric fields that have been given. So over here, select your composite, which is this composite file. This is as usual an ID that will be added to it, and this is the output composite category. So we can just name it as comp dh underscore dh underscore category. So these were previously done. String 1, what you are seeing here is string 1, string 2, string 3, string 4, string 5. So from 0 to 0.2, and maybe 0.2 to 1, maybe 1 to 4, maybe 4 to 999. That's my last, even though I can remove this, even though we know the last asset to be 51.0, we can do this, but that's the limit that we have used. The classify field is D1 because the assets are in D1. So apply. Okay. So classify string completed. This is the classifying string there. Pull it. Go to long section. Okay. So I'm going to go through same process by displaying those fields. Let me hide the composite. Okay. So I'll go back to display, the hide strings. They're in D1, hidden them. And I'm going to display the point market display. Point markers, they're also in D1. These are the point markers. Then I'll display their descriptive values as I did for the compost. Display display point descriptive values. So apply. So you realize that these were the high grades that's given a certain string number, certain string color. This is a low grade. I think blue is a low grade. This is width. Yeah, so you have classified your string, your composite string. You have classify your composite string. So yeah, so end section. So you see the string giving the as if giving different um, colors. Thank you very much for watching. Next time is going to be top capping before we go to variogram concept. Bye for now.